Hello everyone, this is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies and gentlemen and everyone watching. This is Running on Empty Food Review. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. So this is a release that, it's interesting. It's almost like an enigma of sorts, because it has everyone talking about it, yet surprisingly enough, there isn't a ton of marketing about it. And that's just interesting to me, because usually those two things go hand in hand. If everyone's talking about something, if it's the talk of the town, usually there's a massive ad campaign going for it. But this time around there isn't. It just somehow, I don't know, maybe people are just all spontaneously having visions of this item. I really don't know. But either way, it's getting out there, and people know about it, and I've got a lot of requests to do this one, so that's exactly what we're doing. Now this is some people are calling it a breakfast item. It really isn't, though. Some people are, they're saying, well, this is for breakfast only, or it's a dessert, or whatever. But it's not. Hardee's got in a partnership, and I don't know what's going on in the car next to me, but whatever, we'll just roll with it. Hardee's got in a partnership with Froot Loops. And, Froot Loops, of course, the breakfast cereal, right? They go around, they partner with whoever they can. I know Froot Loops got in a partnership with Burger King a little while back. They did a shake. Now they got a partnership going with Hardee's. And this time around, it's not a shake. It's not a burger. It's donuts. Little mini donuts. And again, some people were saying, well, it's got to be like a breakfast food or something, or it's a dessert. But it isn't. It's instead just... I'm sorry, the music's just a bit distracting. Let's see if they... And there's the crew. There they go. Well, either way, it's served all day. The main appeal is that they're mini donuts. Small little things. They come in a wide variety of colors. And they're just very marketable, grammable, right, for that Instagram. It's just, I guess it's the appeal of it, the way they look, the way that they appear, the image that they cast off. They're very small. There's not really much to them, but here's what they look like. They come in this little box, finally. Alright, this is what they come in. Cool box, honestly. It's in its own little customizable box. You can see the Froot Loops there. And what they're supposed to be is like little donuts that are in the shape of the Froot Loops. So now finally, with that out of the way, we can get back to the things. And here's what they look like. There they are. Obviously, they must have rolled around somewhat in transit. So what I'll do for the camera, for the heck of it, you saw what they look like in their as received form. We'll make them look prettier. Why not, right? Because this is how they're supposed to look. This is how everyone really sees them in the ad to look. You saw that they got tossed around a little bit. They still get tossed around, but that's what they look like. They're 5 very, very small, multicolored donuts that are supposed to be resemblant of Froot Loops cereal. So there I am with them, and there I am holding them. Holding a little, whatever you want to call it, a little rainbow of these donuts. But there they are. They're very pretty. I mean, they certainly are. They're very, very, comfortable, colorful. The big question, though, when it comes down to these, and a lot of people wonder this, do they all taste different? Because when you see the different colors of them, you might wonder, well, all right. Does the red one taste like cherries? Does the blue one taste like blueberries or blue raspberry or whatever? The answer to that is no, they all taste the same. Just like Froot Loops cereal, right? The different colored cereal pieces all have the same taste. Even though they might look different, they all have the same taste. This goes for the same thing, okay? But what do they taste like? I don't know. And that's what we're going to find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat this one, and I'm just going to take a small bite of each other one, and we'll find out. So these are the Froot Loops mini donuts from Hardee's going in. Sometimes it zooms in good, sometimes not. All depends. There we go. And one thing to keep in mind, sometimes people just call these donuts. When they say mini donuts, they really mean mini donuts. I mean, theoretically, even by my standards, I could eat this in one bite, most likely. I'm sure many of you could as well. I'll take a bite of this one too. So they all do taste the same. Now, what do they taste like, though? Okay. I know a lot of you were thinking that they might taste like pepperoni pizza slices, because that's just what comes to mind. But they don't. They taste like Froot Loops cereal. And you might say, wow, you know, I didn't see that coming. That's a huge plot twist right there. But it's true. They taste like Froot Loops cereal, and not much else, you know? They have that sweetness to them, though, that I think maybe, I myself, I'm not a cereal connoisseur, you know, but I will eat my cereal from time to time, so I'm very familiar with what the Froot Loops always taste like. And, you know, the Froot Loops, they have that tiny little, like, powdered sugary glaze to them that adds that little bit of sweetness. These have more of a, I guess, a solidified sugar glaze coating the donuts, so that sweetness that you'll get on these donuts is just a little more pronounced and profound than, say, what you would get just on your Froot Loops breakfast cereal. Otherwise, though, it mimics the taste of the Froot Loops to a T. You know, it tastes exactly like them, albeit just a tad sweeter. As for texture-wise, of course, it doesn't have that crunchiness, right, that the Froot Loops cereal has. It's more airy, you know, it's very airy and fluffy inside, but it's not like you're eating nothing, you know, it does, when you start chewing it, it does, you know, get that solidity to it, but it's just very light, very airy and fluffy, I would say, and just with that little bit of a glaze to it that adds some additional sweetness to it. They all taste the same, though, so keep that in mind. There's no unique flavor to each and every one of them. They all just mimic that Froot Loops cereal taste. And with that being said, though, I think they are what they're marketed to be. They're not saying that all of these are going to have their own unique flavors. They're not saying that this one's going to taste like that and that and that, etc., etc. Right? It tastes like Froot Loops cereal, just a little sweeter, but I think it's fun. I think they look cool. I really like the design of it, the packaging, the marketing. You know, they're so colorful. And I could understand, you know, the social media appeal of it, where people, they just want to take the pictures of it, whatever, because it's just so... It really does pop to you, and I really do like the presentation of them. You know, I think they're just very nice to look at, and they're very colorful, and that's nice to see. But with that said, I think they are what they're advertised to be. Price for this was $2.34, and I think these can make a good snack. You know, I wouldn't say this equates to an entire meal by any stretch, but they're just a fun little snack. You can get it any time of the day. I think it'll work out. You can even just get a burger here and get these little Froot Loops afterwards. They're cheap, they are what they're supposed to be. With that, out of 10, I'm going to be giving these an 8.5 out of 10. That's an 8.5 out of 10. I do wish maybe they could be just a tiny bit bigger, because when they market it, you know, you don't really get a feel for the exact size, but I just thought they'd be maybe a little bit bigger than what they really ended up being, but I think they are what they are, and I think they did a good job with it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, that wraps up today's review. Please check out the Patreon page to support this YouTube channel. You can find it at patreon.com/TheReportOfTheWeek. It helps keep this channel going, the radio show going, so please support if you can, if that's something you want to do. Also, check out the Teespring store. Some new merchandise, color combinations are out. Something to check out if you're interested too. Teespring.com/stores/TheReportOfTheWeek. And on a final note, of course, it is no longer a Thursday, but a few days ago, I did my new radio show. It's something I do every week for you, and I'd recommend you check it out. You know, give it a listen if you're interested. I always like to say it's really just laid back, relaxed, has some just good commentary and music in it. You're wondering how you can listen? You can find it on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/VORW_radio_INT. You could also listen on your shortwave radio. You could find a schedule for that in the description. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this review video. Hope you could check out that stuff if you're interested. Until then, I'll see you in a couple days with another video. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'm your host, the Report of the Week.